Going on, Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So today we're going to talk about the keys of victory for our Atlanta Falcons against the Philadelphia Eagle. What's interesting about week one and what's going on all over social media and the fan base is that you guys act like the season is over. Yes, it was a disappointing loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday. But it's just one game. I mean, if you go back and look at a lot of first games of the season, to a lot of teams that have went on to win the Super Bowl, had a successful seasons, and like it's some teams that have got blown out, during on the first game of the season, and they look like a totally different team, the rest of the season. So it happens. It happens. Let's just hope that that's the formula that this Atlanta Falcons team can be, moving forward. Now we didn't like what we saw, especially from the offensive side of the ball, and it's speculation going on around like they're trying to protect Kirk Cousins the way he looked, not under center at all, the way he's standing and stuff like that. They didn't don't run any play action passes, so things like that. It is kind of questionable, and it's going to be interesting to see how the game plan be played for the Philadelphia Eagles. I listened to what Raheem Morris said. The game plan with what it was, it had nothing to do with his health, but he got to make believers out of people, right? Because um, it just didn't seem like for me, and I know for a lot of other people, it seemed like Kirk Cousins was just like a statue in the back, right? And it made it easy. He's made himself an easy target, especially with the pass protection. They didn't move him out the spot. Seemed like he wasn't moving at all himself. He was just in one spot. So he seemed really hesitant. He seemed kind of nervous, and it could have been rust or whatever. So for all you guys that wanted Kirk Cousins to play a preseason game, well, that was his preseason game. Let's just get it out of the way. We can go ahead and wrap it up and say, hey, he played his first preseason game. It counted, but now the number of reps he got in that game probably been the same number of reps he would have had in preseason. So we can go on and get rid of the preseason snaps because he just took preseason snaps. However, it was in a game one of the season where it really counted, and so now he got out of the way. So hopefully we can say because he didn't have any practice reps in preseason, that's why he came looked away. Well, he just had it, right? So just chalk that up to all you guys just want to see him playing the preseason and get the rhythm and stuff. Well, he just did that in the against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It counted, but that's his first preseason game. So hopefully he be better, moving forward. But this game going into Philadelphia to the link is going to be just as tough, or maybe even tougher than it was um, from the Pittsburgh Steelers because the Philadelphia Eagles actually have a talented offense. So we can't definitely afford to not score points on offense this week because it probably would be a blowout. Um, so we definitely gonna have to step it up from an offensive standpoint. If you look at the title, can they unlock the offense? In week two. Let's hope they do that. They got weapons, man. We talked about this all season. We were so excited about Kirk Cousins, the way he's able to move the ball down the field, get the ball to the playmakers, and we just did not see that in game one. But let's see if they can unlock it in game two. So, guys, there you have it. I just wanted to throw that out about this week. You heard we signed an offense. Yes, I'm gonna get to that in just a minute. I'm glad you talked about that. So let's go ahead and get into some Falcon news real quick. Um, the Atlanta Falcons. You remember they actually traded Taylor Heineke to the Los Angeles Chargers, so they still had a open roster spot. Now we've been seeing them, move cap space around, getting money from Jesse Bates, getting money from David Amiyata, restructuring their deals. So you were thinking they was gonna make some kind of move, they did work out players yesterday. I think it was by like 7 players they worked out yesterday. It was some tight ends, some receivers, and some cornerbacks. One of those cornerbacks was Aliko Akiko Witherspoon, who we all thought they probably should have, signed because he was the cornerback that played for the Los Angeles Rams last year. But he actually signed back with the Los Angeles Rams. So, but it seemed like we know Terry Fontenot always messing with the roster. So they brought in guys that worked them out yesterday. They kind of do that out every Tuesday anyway, looking at pros and stuff and see if they can find somebody that can actually help the team. So, but anyway, they did sign Brandon Parker, a former third round pick, offensive tackle to bring in, which I think is understandable the way our offensive line look. Um, Brandon Parker got like 33 starts. He spent most of his time with the Raiders over the last 6 seasons. He was with the 49ers, but he got released this season. Doing the cut down. So he is signed with the Atlanta Falcons. Um, I don't know the upside for him. I don't know um, if he's going to be a better player from the guys we got. We do got Storm Norton is our swing tackle. That's already on the team. But bringing in Brandon Parker, especially the way Caleb McGarry looked, um, we'll just have to see. But yes, they did sign an offensive tackle. It's nobody that you're going to be like, wow, yes, that's our replacement for this position or this player or whatever. But just bringing in that competition and that depth at that position. We did have open roster spots, so bringing in another offensive tackle and Brandon Parker. Sorry about that. Is what they did. So we'll see what happens with that. They also came out with their depth chart today as well. And it's pretty much the same from last week. No surprises about the depth chart. And then we won't hear the injury report probably till tomorrow. Usually it comes out on Wednesday, but that's on Sunday games. Of course, we know our game is on Monday Night Football, so they had an extra day. So we probably hear the injury report, tomorrow coming out. Also, we probably hear from Coach Morris and Kirk Cousins. He was on the Rich Eisen show today earlier. If you guys go check that out. He talked about he felt good coming out the game, no setbacks or anything like that. So he kind of echoed what Raheem Morris said on Monday about his health. What's going on, Kevin? So Kirk Cousins say he's fine. Despite what we seen, the way he looked kind of like a statue in the middle of the field against the Steelers. So we'll see the game plan this week. See if they change it up a little bit. Raheem Morris said every game plan is tailored to the team they're playing, so it won't look the same. Things like that. We just have to see, guys. Like I said, it's just the first game of the season, so it's amazing how the fan base so doom and gloom after one game, and you shouldn't be that way, right? You got to let time. I mean, you got to put things in perspective too. You think about you got a new offensive coordinator doing first time play caller, same thing from defensive coordinator. New quarterback coming in, trying to get used to his new offensive weapons with a whole new offensive line. So it is a brand new team per se. Yes, we got veteran quarterback. We got supposed to have a good offensive line. I'm gonna say that in quotes because the way they looked on Sunday. But you got to give it time, guys. And usually people let the first 4 games of the season kind of dictate, about what kind of team this team is going to be. Now, unfortunately for us, the first 4 games of the season probably our hardest first 4 games that we're going to play in the entire 17 game that we got this season. But it's going to kind of give us an identity of what we like to see from this team. So, but put in perspective. Don't be so doom and gloom. Yes, it's a disappointing, and it looked like where we go from here from offense standpoint. But in my opinion, they can only go up because they played so bad the first game of the season. So they would just have to they got to get better, man. There's no way about it. If you look at you look at the bright spots, just like he said, 2 phases of this team played really well, and that's our offense. I mean, our special teams and our defense played well, man. You don't want to you have to talk about it again, but the defense only gave up 41 carries on 137 yards. Is pretty good. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers kept the ball for 35 minutes in that game, right? They pretty much had the ball the whole game because the offense was so bad. So and they only gave her 18 points. So you have to like that. Special teams, we didn't let nobody from special teams. I know they wanted to get, Cordell Patterson a chance to return the ball, but no. Just take the ball at the 30 and go from there. So that's where it was. I know you guys like that. Kevin said the hardest part of a loss is waiting a whole week for the next game. That is true. That is true. But they need the time, man. They need to figure out what the hell happened, especially from an offense standpoint, and make sure they fix those issues and get back and play better football coming up this week. So that's going to be a good thing to see. The adjustment they was able to make and the good things that they can do. All right, so let's get into the keys of the victory this week. And I thought about this long and hard because we were playing the Philadelphia Eagles, and I thought about what transpired on Sunday. So when I came up with these keys, I'm trying to look at what the things that was so bad for us and things that went so well for us, and try to come up with the keys of victory for this week. So from an offensive standpoint, I think the Atlanta Falcons still need to run the ball. They have to run the ball. And this run the ball is, I talked about the clock, right? Trying to control the clock. Atlanta Falcons only had the ball probably 13, 14 minutes in that entire game out of 48-minute game. So that's bad. I mean, a 60-minute game. Take that back. Out of the 60-minute game. So, they had the ball for 35 minutes. They had the ball way more than we had it. And we were just not really good in that. So we need to run the ball so we can control the clock. We got to run the ball. If we could do that, I think it'll help the passing game tremendously. Being able to run the ball. The Atlanta Falcons ran the ball really well in the first half. In the second half, we was not as successful as we was in the first half. So we got to be able to run the ball consistently throughout the game. I think that's going to help our passing game tremendously in this game, and it'll control the clock at the same time. My second key for this week is something that we did not see at all, probably one time in the entire game, and you have to be able to utilize the play action pass. That's why you get that running game going. Be able to utilize the play action pass. The West Coast offense is predicated on play action pass. It's predicated on the bootlegs and things like that. So as Kirk Cousins is healthy, we want to be able to see him be able to do some of the things that he's really good at, which is being able to run that play action. He's one of the best play action passes quarterback. You gotta look at a thing that Mina Kynes had out there, and she mentioned that that's why they thought this offense would be so good because of that. And one of the things Kirk Cousins did not do at all in that first game was the play action pass. And like I said, if he's healthy and that foot is good to go, and he should be able to go back and do the bootlegs, do all those things, do the keepers and things like that, and be able to get back to things he's really good at. So if he's just going to sit in pistol and sit in shotgun, it's not going to be successful. So we got to be able to run the ball and utilize the play action pass so we can start to get our guys going. When you utilize the play action pass, that has those linebackers bite up a little bit, because especially if we're able to establish a run like we want to, and then you'll be able to hit those routes underneath, right over the linebackers. You bet maybe to take some shots with Darnell Mooney, things like that. So we just got to see this offense get a rhythm. And I think the play action pass going along with the run game is really going to be successful. And then the third key is really simple. The Atlanta Falcons was 2-9 on third down. They got to be better than that. Average is going to be like 40% on third down. I mean, that's really pathetic for the Atlanta Falcons, being 2 for 9 on third downs. So the Atlanta Falcons have to do better on third down. That's really, in my opinion, what makes teams really good in this league is the situational football. Everybody is good, everybody professionals, but how you manage the situations in the games is situational football. One of the things that Dan Quinn, his first stint here, he wasn't really good in the situational football. Is huge. So third down is probably one of the most important plays in sports when you come to football anyway. Your percentages on third down, and that's on the defense and offensive side of the ball, but especially for offense, going 2 for 9 on third down is not going to be able to do it. You got to be able to keep the drives going. You got to be able to put your guys in scoring positions and things like that. So being 2 for 9 on third down is not good. So they need to be really better on third down. Of course, first and second down is important because you don't want to get in third and long. Um, Unfortunately for Atlanta Falcons, there was in 2 minute third and long against that pass rush from the Steelers. And it won't be no different this week against the Eagles defense. They front seven. So we got to be better in that. We got to be able to hone in on the situations, and third down is a big one for us. So third down percentages is really, really key for Atlanta Falcons this week. So run the ball off that run, be able to utilize play action pass, and be more efficient on third down this week. And they do that from an offensive standpoint. I think they can unlock some of the things that was our bugaboos in the game one, right? Um, Another things I know a lot of people want to talk about is the pass protection. Of course, that goes without saying. You shouldn't even have to say that. That's key, right? And then no turnovers. So those things is honorable mentions for keys this week. Pass protection and no turnovers. But the three main things is run the ball, control the clock, be able to utilize the play action off that run, and then be better on third down. And those are my offensive keys. If Atlanta Falcons can achieve that this week, they can unlock that offense that we want to see, that we all had, a better feeling about going into the season than what we seen on Sunday against the Steelers. Kevin says, did it seem like Zach was being overly conservative with his play calls, trying to ease into the offense? Like I said, I don't know. That's the what people don't understand. Was he trying to protect Kurt, or what was it? It just seemed different. So it's a great question. I don't know what the problem was, but yes, it seems like he was hesitant to just unleash this offense and do some of the things we do. It's weird because we seen passes Kirk Cousins through in practice, and in my opinion, you practice how you play, right? Um, if you practice well, you have great practice all week long, right? You just do what you did in practice. And what we've seen all offseason, what gave us so much optimism, being so optimistic, being so optimistic about this team was what we heard and what we seen in practice, training camp all year long about him throwing the ball down the field, not him being so hesitant and things like that. But that's not what we seen in the game. So for him, maybe the whole preseason thing is what he needed. Like we said when I started the show, Steelers wasted his preseason game, so we can get out of the way. He got his feet back wet, got hit. He let it know his Achilles gonna be good to go. Now you should get out of the cartwheels out and let's go, man. Let's air this thing out. Right. So those are my offensive keys, guys. Let's get into our defensive keys. Um, we're gonna we're gonna really tip our hat off to the defense because they actually played really well. For the most part, they gave us some. They only gave up 3 explosive plays over 15 yards. But the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is not nothing to be like they shut down a great offense. So that's not the case here. They did what they had to do. They didn't give up as many things that they had to give up. So you want to tip your hat off to the defense, but they're going up against a whole different team this week. Got 3 really good receivers on the outside. Got a great tight end in Goddard. Offensive line is one of the best offensive lines. Yes, they got a new center, but got a great running back, solid young quarterback. So, this is a different test for our defense this week. So, it's going to be huge. So the first key for defense is really still to stop the run. Saquon Barkley had over 100-yard rushings. That cannot happen in this game. I don't think it's going to happen. I like our front seven. Yes, we're going up against a pretty good offensive line, but we can't let Saquon Barkley wreck the game, and we can't let the run game go and their passing game be effective. So we need to stop something. So stopping the run has to be really, really good for the Atlanta Falcons this weekend, this Monday night in prime time. They got to be able to stop the run game. If they do that, it's going to be really good for us. So stopping the run is key for the Atlanta Falcons' decent defense this week. Make them one-dimensional. That's what the key. Stop the run, shut down Saquon in the running game. Even though he's a great pass catcher as well. We want to make sure we stop him in the run game. Second Second key is to be good, really good on the back end of our defense, and that's the secondary because we're going up against those really good um, playmakers in the back. We got to be really good on the back end. Of course, they're hand in hand with our pass rush and things like that, but we need to be solid. Um, I'd be interested to see how Jimmy Lake calls this game with all those great pass catchers. Do he do more man to man? Do more zone? It'll be interesting to see how he calls this game. But we need to be really solid on the back end and have sticky coverage there. If it's zone, make sure you play your zones, play your assignments good. Um, Jalen Hurts in the last year and a half has been really, really loose with the ball. So um, he like to take chances. So I think, if we be solid back there, he may give us one or two. He did throw two interceptions in the first game of the season for those guys, even with the win. So, you know, just think about how explosive that offense is. He threw two picks and they still put up all those points. So it's going to be a tough task for us, but we can't let Saquon Barkley and their pass catchers both go off because it'll be a long day for us. So from a defensive standpoint, we got to be good. And then the last thing is we need to be solid. Solid. We need to be better on third down from a defensive standpoint. Get off the field on third down. One key is don't get in third and shorts and things like that. We need to have better down and distance for us on third down. Get in third and longs would be preferable so we can actually unleash the pass rush to get guys like Matt Judon going. We saw from Grady Jarrett from a pass rush standpoint, with a second and a half on his first game back. So, get in third longs, get off the field on third down. But first and second down is going to be key. That's why I say stop the run. Get these guys in third and longs. That's one thing we was not able to do with the Steelers. They only put up 137 rushing yards, but most of their third downs was really, advantageous for them. So many things you can do in third and shorts and things like that. We had a lot of big stops in that game, but trying to stay out of third and short is need to be the key for the Atlanta Falcons. So that's something huge that we need to make sure we do. And those are my three keys on defense, man. It's just that simple. Can't let Saquon go off in the run game and then come back and let the receivers go off as well. We'll have a long day. So we got to start the run, be great on the back end, and then we need to get out the field on third down, man. Yes, we only gave away 18 points, but we got to be able to get out the field to get the ball back in our offensive hand. And that's how they controlled the clock so well because they was able to do things like that against us. Kevin says it was good to see Troy flying around. Troy played really well. And you can see the speed, running against Justin Fields in those spots. Justin Fields got loose a couple times, but for the most part, I thought they contained him really well. Troy Anderson looked really good. I don't know if you guys seen that play for Nate Lemon, that fourth down stop when he dived over I just love our linebacker. I love our linebacker group. I really do. And I like the defense overall, man. And the defense, not even, we making all the excuses about the offense, so they're not jailed. But be honest, defense played well, but they haven't even gelled yet either. And that's why I'm so, excited about how good this defense could potentially be because a lot of these guys just, they didn't play in preseason either. That's why I say there's no excuses there. And we thought those guys played well. So yes, man, I like what Troy did. I like what Nate was doing. I like our linebacker core. And we saw flashes from a lot of people on this team, that defensive side of the ball, right? AJ got to be better in pass coverage. Yeah, I mean, I know he's going to get a great player, but you got to have better sticky coverage than that. So hopefully we could, like I said, be a little bit better on our back end this week. That's one of my keys. Kevin also says we will see more blitzes this week. I think we will. I really do. But like I said, it all boils down on third down because, when they get in third and shorts and things like that, like the Pittsburgh Steelers were a lot. They like to play a mucky game. Raheem mentioned that, which is true. They don't care if they win 9-0, man. They just want to win. So they'll muck up the game. That's what they did. Arthur Smith, tip your hat off to him. He called a good game, man. He didn't, make Justin Field make mistakes. He ran the ball 41 times in the game, you know, to limit mistakes and things like that. And then it paid off for them. Then air the ball out, and then it kind of, limited a lot of the things that the Falcons want to do. To your point, like blitzing and things like that. So this is going to be a different game because their offense is expected to do more things. So we'll definitely see what it's going to be all about. So I'm interested to see what this this game, especially coming off of a bad performance from our Atlanta Falcons from an offensive standpoint. I'm excited to see what they actually be able to put out there, the product on prime time in front of the whole world. So I was just thinking about something that I know everybody's seen on social media today. I don't know what Unc was thinking, man. Unc, man, what's going on, bro? That's funny. That's funny. I can't wait to see Nightcap tomorrow night after the football game to hear what he has to say. So it's wild, man. You say you got hacked, man. I don't know. I don't know. EQ said Picking pushed off a lot and got called for. Yeah, he did. He did push off a lot. And that's what Pickens do. Yeah, he did. He did. So Wallace says, "What's going on, Raquando?" And we knew that the first 3 games was going to be tough, and the offense just came out flat against the Steelers. Exactly. Like I said, man, you like don't get so discouraged after the first game. And for so many people saying that they need to play in preseason, just chalk that game up as a preseason game, man. They got their feet wet, right? They got to get in sync. Those are things they had to do, and that's what they did. So, Kevin says AJ looked a tad slow. We'll see. We definitely going to see. He got that money now, man. Maybe that money was holding him down and running the game. But I mean, Jordan Pickens is a good player. You know what I'm saying? You want to take that from him. He's a really good player. He really is. He a dog, man. I like the way he plays. So I'm not going to take anything away from what he's able to do. But AJ has to play better than that. And he was traveling with Jordan Pickens too, so he was taking on the assignment. He was covering the best receiver, so he probably is going to get the AJ Brown task this week. But man, the guy they call a Slim Reaper, that kid is good, man. He really is. People thought he was going to be too light, to be, do some of the things he did at Alabama, but he's just as good. Then they brought Jahan Dotson over as well. So they got a pretty good, 3-headed monster over there as a receiver core. And then Dallas Goedert is a pretty good tight end as well. So, and then you add Saquon Barkley that it's a pretty good test for the Atlanta Falcons. So I agree with you. It is a good test for us these first 3 games. Man, the post right, he's still throwing AJ 3 times going down the field. Oh, you know what? I wasn't even paying attention to that. I just saw he wide damn open. I just saw he was wide open, man. I was like, damn. I was like, that's a great play call. So I didn't even pay attention. But I'm pretty sure. Like I said, you going to. I mean, if you ain't cheating, you can get away with it. I mean, refs got to call that crap, man. AJ got to sell it better. Fall to the ground. He push out, fall to the ground. That's how you sell it, man. So that's how you have to be. Wallace says every team is going to have bad games, and it happens in the season. No, because us 10-7 away. Yeah, exactly, man. I agree. I agree with you. Like I mentioned at the start of the show, it's been some teams that got like blown out. I mean, if you remember the classic game with Bill Belichick and they got blown out, forget who they were playing, And then he came in, he didn't want to talk about it. He said, on to the next game, on to the next game. He just kept repeating it. And then they had a way better performance the next week. And that's what happens. Sometimes you have a bad game, man. Some teams just have your number that day. The second half, the Pittsburgh Steelers had the Atlanta Falcons number. The first half, we know we had the lead. I know most people feeling good. It was only 10-9, like it was going to be a defensive game. And they came out and they played better defense. You know, they played better defense than we played on offense. Because I thought our defense was really good. But, 2 turnovers in that second half did not help, at all. And then I think we went we had 3 points and two turnovers in that second half. So we had 5 positions, and I think we had 3 points, 3 punts and 2 turnovers. And I think 3 of those punts was in 3rd and long. So I mean, we just didn't get in rhythm on offense. And now Pittsburgh Steelers had a lot to do with that, but it happens. So, it's not time to panic. Now, if we put out the same kind of piss poor performance on offense this week, now you had to start questioning, play calling, what's going on with Kirk Cousins, things like that. And then, yeah, we can be 0-3 and beat our division every time we play them. Yeah, I mean, yes, this is true. And the crazy part about it, we potentially could go 0-3 because we played 3 really good teams. But the strange thing about that is the schedule works in our favor from moving forward after that. So we got 3 division opponents right after that. And if we beat all 3 of those guys, we 3-3, and we 3-0 in the division just to start. See what I'm saying? So like, it's not time to panic. What we want to see on Monday night is a better performance from the offense, right? Win or lose. I mean, like I said, if you looked at the way Baltimore played Kansas City, right? When they walked off that field, even though they lost the game, they felt good because they was able to move the ball up and down the field on Kansas City. And they probably said, well, put a couple plays here, a couple plays there, you know, we probably could have won that game. It's feed in. It's a tie game. They're going to overtime. So those are ways you got to look at games. From what we saw Sunday, it just didn't. It left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. A loss is a loss, but you want to be able to feel good about their performance you put on the field. And Atlanta Falcons, from offense standpoint, definitely could not feel good. The fan base did not feel good. We just didn't like what we seen from offense standpoint, especially when we brought in a QB that we paid $180 million for, that we thought was going to not make our offense look like it looked last year, and that's exactly what it looked like. And it wasn't the only team across the league that looked bad. Look at the Bengals; they had a bad game against the Patriots at home. Yes, like you're right. So, like I said, don't get all wrapped up around the first game of the season. Just don't, man. Let's see how they turn this thing around. What was the odds on this game? I don't know. I have no idea. I think most people had Atlanta Falcons winning this game though. And let's really look at it, right? We turned the ball over 3 times, and we still had a chance to tie the game at the end. So, I mean, you turn the ball over 3 times, you probably should lose anyway. I mean, it just goes without saying. So, yeah, that's the way I look at it. All right, guys. Of course, my last key is special teams, and I'm pretty much going to keep it the same as last week. Field position, always my first point I always make. Field position is key. You got to make sure you get and I mentioned field position, and I'm really gonna harp on it this week because we turned the ball over 3 times, and like I said, every offensive drive should end in a kick, no matter what. You're kicking for a field goal, you're kicking for extra point, are you punting the ball? And those punting the ball is not a bad thing because you flip the field position that way. Instead of turning it over, right? You give those guys short fields and things. Teams are too good. Field goal kickers are too good. I think he made 3 kicks 3 or 4 kicks over 50 yards in that game, right? That's a long way. Defense held there up, but they get the ball, on the plus side of the field, you only got to get 1 or 2 first downs in here in field goal range. So field position is always key, and people need to realize that it's part of the game. That's why it's 3 phases of the game. Special teams is always that piece. Um, you know, don't know who's supposed to plays on the kickoff. If you think you got a guy back there that can wreck the game, do what they did. They kick the ball out of bounds. They get an extra 5 yards, to start at 30, but is it worth it? Potentially letting a guy run it home, getting it all the way back. And then I love to see Avery Williams back in the return game. Some of the things he was doing before he got injured, right? I mean, if you probably go look at the numbers, his punt return probably is up there with one of the highest average of return yard since he's been in the league. And before he got hurt, he was leading the lead in punt return yardage. So he's a weapon, and I think the more and more opportunities he get, it's gonna have to be on our defense, to give him those opportunities. But especially on punt return, I think he's gonna maybe break one here soon. Remember, this guy had like 8 returns for touchdowns in college, so he does know what he's doing back there. And we just got to get more opportunities on the defensive side of the ball. So pretty much for me on the special teams, that's where I stand. Field position, explosives, either way, none. Don't get them none. Try to create some on us, and then be really solid and in the technique and procedures in the kicking game. Let's see what we got here. While it says, and special teams, they're still kicking the ball into the end zone, so they should have left it the way it was. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm telling you, you're going to see some teams not do that, But I just think the fact that you kicking the Cardell Patterson, you don't want to take that chance, man. You don't want to take that chance. That's why they did that, and I don't blame them for that. I mean, you think about it. He got one line. If he break through that line, I mean, he even backed up a little bit in the end zone because he was planning on returning that thing, but they keep it over his head out the bottom bound. So I like that. Iker said, so the kickoff only way one way, right? So more onside kicks. Only time you can do an onside kick now is if you're down at the end of the game. That's the only time you can do an onside kick now. So that's the change. So if you're down at the end of the game, yes, you can kick an onside kick. You still can do that. So the onside kick still is there, but you can't do it. Remember, if you guys remember what the Aints did, in the Super Bowl, they can't do that anymore. That's not allowed. So so that's one of the things you got to look at. So guys, there you have it today. My keys to victory for this game going in. And I'm excited to see the difference from game 1 to game 2, to see what the Atlanta Falcons can put on film for week 2, right? Whole different challenge for our defense, different team, different skill set of players, way better offense, right? But same thing for the defense. They still got a talented defense, but I think some places, especially I think on their back end, still kind of suspect. You look at how Green Bay was able to carve those guys up on the back end. They don't have a TJ Watt on their team. They do have great players, solid players on their defensive front, but they don't have a TJ Watt. So let's hope our offensive line can protect better and things like that. It's really going to be interesting to see how the game shakes out in the link. But I know you guys are excited. I'm definitely excited, just like you, to see how this thing unfolds and get it going. So there you have it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I came out early today. I got to take care of something, but I wanted to get out and get my keys. Please put your comments and likes. Any keys that I didn't call off today that you think could really be huge for this team to turn this thing around, get back to 1-1. going into, Sunday night game against the Super Bowl champs. Let me know what you think. And I'm going to recap it real quick. Offensive side of the ball, run the ball, control the clock. Once you run the ball, be able to get into that play action pass game that we did not see any of in the first game. And then be better on third down. 2 for 9 is not going to cut it. Be better on third down. Honorable mentions on the offensive side of the ball, better pass protection, and do not turn the ball over. Defensive side of the ball, we got to stop the run. We can't let them have a great running game and passing game both. Be solid on the back end in the secondary. We got two all world safeties back there. Utilize those guys. You got to utilize their eyes and things like that in the passing game. And then we got to be able to get out the field on third down. If we do that, it's going to be golden. Special teams, field position, create explosive, don't give up explosive, and be really, really sound in the kicking game. So there you have it, guys. My keys to victory for the Atlanta Falcons going into the Philadelphia Eagles game. Let's see, can they unlock that offense, get to things going. I mean, guys that I thought going to have really, really good seasons this career. I hope they can. I'm gonna read a couple more of these comments before I get out of here. But you got to tell the referee. Yep. Raquan was across the whole league, kicker kicking out of his zone. Yeah, man, they just don't want to do it. But I think the bounce back, people better performance against the Eagle. We better. You said Grady is back. Yeah, Grady is back, man. He kind of stole that sack from Judon because Judon was taking it down, but Grady got got his sack anyway. So that was really, really telling. All right. So guys, but thank you for tuning in. Let's see what they can do. Game 2. This is your boy Rakundo coming back at you with another video. Peace.